Abortion is a terrible tragedy that has been visited on our nation. There are presently 1.36 million abortions a year. There have been over 40 million children murdered since 1973, and that must be reduced. So I propose the American Life Amendment, which would limit the number of abortions in the country to 1.25 million. After that, no more. Except, of course, in cases of rape, incest, or inconvenience. And then there are all these sexual matters that are coming up. You know, if you're an old guy like me, you get really uncomfortable with some of these things. There's the threat of homosexual marriage. And that's got to be stopped. 3 states already recognize homosexual marriage. 3 states. So I propose a constitutional amendment that provides that no more than 24 states, see, we still have a majority this way, no more than 24 states can legalize homosexual marriage. 24 states, and that's it. No more states can pass it. They just missed their chance. And to stop the spread of homosexuality, we need to take a lesson from the Indian Wars and our relations with Native Americans. So I think we should pass a constitutional amendment that would make the states of Virginia, Maryland, North and South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, and Texas a heterosexual reservation. No homosexuals would be allowed to settle in these traditionally heterosexual hunting grounds. Unfortunately, sacrifices will have to be made. Georgia will have to cede territory to accomplish this, so Georgia will have to give Atlanta to Massachusetts. I don't know how you're going to predict it, but I'm looking forward to it happening. Of course, there's a downside to this, too. It means that we're going to have to import interior decorating services. So you see, I'm in favor of reform and not secession. The system is not so bad. It can be fixed. You can work within the system. You laugh. Why are you laughing? You didn't think it was funny when I said reforming abortion by reducing it from 1.36 million a year to 1.25 would be a reform. You laugh because it is ridiculous. It is like proposing to reform prostitutes in a house of prostitution by putting on a new coat of paint and mopping the floors with Pine Sol. Nothing changes. It is rotten from the bottom up, and it cannot be cured. The American empire is past reform. It has lost all moral authority. It has become ungovernable, and it has become a danger to the livelihood, liberty, and life not only of us under its jurisdiction, but of millions of people abroad as well. It is literally killing us. And secession is the only answer. How do we get there? We need a strategy to accomplish secession. And I suggest a classical Pincher's movement. It's a classical military movement where you press the enemy from 2 sides until he collapses. Pressure from above and pressure from below. It is a strategy that the communists employed in the middle part of the last century with great success. Pressure from above is political pressure. Mike Crane gave you an outline yesterday of how we can begin to get a wedge into the political process until finally we can do what Charles Stewart Parnell did for the Irish movement. We will hold the balance of power with a few representatives, and we will make them do what we want. Every issue will become a secession issue. Every issue will become an issue of Southern nationalism. The pressure from below will be economic. Now, there's a word you must learn, because you are in the midst of this word, and you are going to be living with it intensely in your future. And that word is revulsion. Revulsion. It lasts generations, and it comes about at times of great social discontinuity, when there is some great event that repels people, that repulses them, that revulses them from a certain course of action so that they will take it no more. You may not see it yet. You may not know it yet. A generation of people in the last 4 weeks has been taught never to invest in stocks. A generation of people. And that is revulsion. It will be revulsion against the empire as its promises, as its unfulfilled promises mount, as unemployment mounts, as pensions and retirement funds vanish. There will be revulsion against the empire. There will be revulsion against the agents of the empire, and especially politicians. And in the South, those pencil-neck Republicans that have gotten so rich feeding off of government favors will be the first to go. And in the general revulsion, believe me, every crazy in the entire world will come out and run for office. Every one of them. Every one of them. And if you don't think there are a lot of crazies, even in the South, you haven't done much traveling. There will be a revulsion against the imperial national economy that no longer works. And I have to tell you something. This collapse that everyone has feared so much, this collapse that has threatened so much harm, it is not a catastrophe. It is a God-given opportunity. It is what we have been waiting more than 135 years for. Your time has come. It has not been possible to sell secession to our people as long as they believed that their financial welfare and well-being depended upon the empire. And they're about to learn that they were wrong, that the empire has not preserved their economic well-being, it has destroyed it. Now the system is failing them, and it will fail them more. Wait, just wait until those year-end 401k and IRA and pension fund statements show up and show that they've lost 40% of what they were going to Florida. Wait until they lose their job. Wait until inflation, the inflation already inevitably put into place, begins to eat away at the purchasing power of their dollars. And that inflation rages higher and higher. The system and all its promises will fail. And it will undergo a revulsion, a public revulsion, a social revulsion from which it will never recover.